the showroom and pick out your top five favorite interior designer things. Your top favorite things in tile collection.
Only 5?
Just 5.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Bye.
Go.
We're back. We're here.
We are very excited.
Yeah,
You've worked on many projects dealing with totally different materials. What are Sarah's top 5 things that she loves working with the tile collection? Well, that's what I wanted to ask you today.
I'm so glad you asked because I've got them here for us. So the first thing I love when I come in the store is Cambria. Ooh. And they are a quartz countertop manufacturer, and they have the most beautiful designs. And one of the things I love about them a lot, and then I'll let you kind of explain the technical side of things, is on the back side of the piece, you can actually see what the slab will look like. And that's kind of tricky sometimes, especially if you order a natural stone. You don't always know how much of that color is going to be in it. And so for me, I like that I can see the big picture when I'm going to design something.
But what I love about like this sample here, it's, oh, you like the polished? Oh, you wondered if it comes in matte? Oh, check this out.
Yeah.
And so, so not all of them have that, but the ones that come in this honed finish come like this. So that way you and your client can sit there and talk about the difference between the two finishes.
Yeah.
So the
and
crafting.
I think that's important to point out because I think when we look at a sample, we're like, oh, that's the only option.
Right.
And when you can't see it, you don't know that there are other things to choose from. And it truly does affect the look you're going for. Even the coloring of it, something will look more white or bright if it's polished than it does if it's honed. So there are different options. That leads into the second thing that I love about tile collection is the pattern tiles. These are pattern tiles that when you put them together, they make a beautiful pattern, but alone, they also have their own details in them as well. And I love the ones that are multicolor, even though they're a monochromatic color palette. You can still build a really beautiful neutral space around something like this because that pattern is there. So if you have a small powder room and you're wanting to add some interest, instead of worrying about wallpaper or kind of going that route, which is the more traditional look, let's take the focus to the tile on the wall or the tile on the floor and then build around that.
They have cement tiles that look like this, but we don't sell any of those only because of the pure maintenance factor with cement tiles and the thickness differences. So it's porcelain. You can tap dance on this puppy. You can spill whatever on it.
That's what you're doing in your laundry.
I am. I'm tap dancing and drinking wine, just like all at the same time. It's a one-man show in there.
It is. Someone's got to do it.
It is. But I do. Cement tile and the pattern tile, when you come in, like we have a tremendous amount of it. So know that you can come to us for that.
Let's talk about something like really classic, something that like people are like, a lot of people come in here wanting, and that is subway tile. Okay, so you come in, you say, I think I want subway tile in my kitchen, and then we start unleashing on you. Do you want beveled? Do you want
handcrafted?
4x6? Do you want 3x12? Do you want what color do you want? And you're like, whoa, I had no idea. You were asking me all this stuff. So what I love about it is I love a store that's one-stop shop where I can lay it all out and see what I'm looking at. Yeah. So here we have this subway tile, and you can even see like a pencil trim in there, so you can see what that would look like. We've got one that's got a little bit more movement to it. It's got a handcrafted kind of touch to it.
So like as light hits it, it does different things, but it adds dimension to a space. So yes, it might look boring and white, but in all actuality, it's pretty timeless. And the fact that there's just a little bit more to it for, $12.95 a square foot is nice.
Yeah, it looks really custom. And it's still budget friendly, considering you're probably not just doing your backsplash when you're doing your kitchen. And then there's something like this that takes it to like a little bit of an edgy vibe where you've got some wear and tear to it, and I think that's really kind of another, what I'd call a trend in design right now. I actually think some of these are called like a grunge series, which takes me back to like the 90s. But I love that because I think that that's what we love now in a space is character, and something that feels like it's been there for a long time. We do painted brick a lot. This kind of has that element to it.
It doesn't look brand squeaky clean new, and I love the fact that there's other color tones that can bring out. So if you got things you really can't change, like if you got oak cabinets or if you've got like a cabinet you have to deal with, there's product that's your buddy. So.
And sort of talking about the paint option, the fourth thing I love about Tile Collection right now is that they always have paint decks on hand, which it sounds like, okay, paint, whatever, but to have it here all under one roof is really helpful. So if I wanted to take one of these colors, let's say this countertop here, well, what wall color could I do with that? What cabinet color could I do with that? Then I can actually hit the paint deck and see what's matching up. And so from there, I can start to build a palette. I can start to pick my cabinet colors. I can see what else, maybe furniture options, chandelier. Like I play into the little bit of color that's in this countertop here if I was going to use that in a space.
Well, it's nice, like you said, like it's nice to have it all in one space. So as you as a designer come in, and let's say you forgot your paint deck, we're like, not a problem, Sarah.
Yeah, it's all here.
I got paint decks for days.
It's all here.
So we do try to keep it helpful, not just for you as an interior designer, but for all other designers, for clients who have a hard time picturing what a new space would even look like and pulling all those things together.
And to walk away with a color, a concrete color that really goes with what because let me tell you what, you walk out of the showroom, there are 100 shades of gray, not just 50. Like there's 1,000
not
shades of
50.
gray. Like there's a lot. And so when you leave here, you're like, I have like a seafoam green. You're gonna hit up a million different ones that don't match with this. So if I can leave with a concrete color, then I can know how to build as we're working on the kitchen.
Perfect.
So I love that. And then the last thing really just ties all this together is the fact that I can come in here and put together an entire concept for a space that I'm designing or building in 1 or 2 visits. So all the way down to things like the hardware. Maybe I came in here attracted to gold hardware. I want to put those up to some of the selections I'm making because there's going to be some things that just don't lend themselves to what you thought you were attracted to.
We do try to keep even like a Kohler book, so all the Kohler finishes for when you're picking your plumbing, because not everybody is champagne gold,
Exactly.
So you do want everything to kind of all make sense and flow. So as design staff, we know that that's a pain, so we like to have that tool for you.
Yeah, and if you have your own hardware or even like a piece of a chandelier, whatever you have, the more that you can keep it all in one space in the same light is going to help you create a more cohesive space. Okay. So when we're installing, when we're styling a space, I like to embody my client when I'm working on their house. So if the more, like let's say your favorite artist is Salt and Pepper. Oh, back from the 90s or whatever. Let's say that's it. So if that's the vibe of your house, that's your personality, you want to kind of have that in the background.
It's nice and playful.
But if I have a client who's like kind of serious or more of a masculine vibe, that's probably not what I'm going to play.
No.
Something that more embodies them. And whether or not it actually affects my decisions that I make, it just really helps me embody like the mood, because I design a lot based on feeling. The way I feel when I walk in a space is really important to me. Yeah. So that's just what I
get it. Yeah, because you're not going to want to have like decorate a house with a bunch of tender glass if they're like metalheads.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't match.
So it's definitely something to think about. So let us know what your favorite soundtrack to listen to.
What do you decorate to? What do you clean to? Is there a soundtrack you have? Tell us and we'll add it.
We definitely want to know.
Yeah, we do.
So stay tuned because we got more.
Always more. More design talk to come. All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.